Alright, doing a little bit of late night Egyptian city building. So after doing one level at a time, I'll do a couple, mostly because tutorial levels are so easy.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations. You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond.
Okay, that was really quiet. Why was that so quiet? Alright, let's try bumping the audio up. Maybe that'll be here.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations. You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond. Our story begins more than 5,000 years ago, along the banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nut. Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
Alright, that's more audible. Okay. Tutorial level. That's scripted. Yada yada. So interestingly, all this fertile land here, that's what this is, farmland. Completely useless in this map, can't use it. Thing across the river, useless. These, extra useless. Can't use them. They are purely decorative, so... Oh yeah, these wells, useless. Will never be used after this level. Ever. I don't know why, I guess they're in the game for nostalgia bait or something, but, get rid of that, no longer useful. Add that in.
Well done. By filling your people's bellies with nourishing food and protecting their homes from fire and collapse, you have helped this fledgling civilization take its first step on the long road of history. After many years and the passing of a generation, your family has resettled in the area of Inis, in Upper Egypt. Here, a small band of local rulers is attempting to extend its influence over Lower Egypt and all lands along the River Nile, and to unite this realm under its own house with one supreme leader. Establishing Thinis as a thriving city like nothing ever seen before will prove the worthiness of the Thinite Confederacy and help them gain supremacy over Lower Egypt and the other factions vying for power. In time, This will mean providing the population with entertainment and building wonderful temples to worship the region's patron deity. To build a city this grand will require a substantial supply of cash. You'll find rich deposits of gold ore in Finis, and harvesting them should be your first priority.
Alright, so let's just let's just shape it like that. Pop off. Pick up. Two should be enough. I'm planning on massive unemployment, but it's the second level. And again, all this useless. And I built 2 my level housings, those are leveling up. Let's see. Unemployment too high? Yeah, I'll have a third one. Completely unnecessary, but why not? Okay, they're wandering off in the wrong direction. Don't want to put that there yet, but I'll have to do it. There we go. Now you may have noticed a lot of these were complaining about desirability. There you go. This gives desirability, shows various information conveniently, and lets me cart all of this gold somewhere useful. Pharoah. We have noticed massive unemployment is suddenly no longer an issue. And of course, without a palace, the palace cannot be robbed. Police station. The mark of an advanced civilization is a police station. course, temples are the other way of massively boosting survivability. Always remember to run out of money because you get a stimulus check from the Pharaoh, who recruits me. Do a basic festival, I don't really care. Not possible to find further enemies because it is territorial, so I have to spend control and hang on other than this. So, me as well. Employees needed, you say? And this is why I don't want to roll block the area, I just have to demolish it, and then... yeah. There we go.
Excellent! You have built the first true city in this unforgiving land, providing for your citizens' corporal and spiritual needs, and have helped the Thinite Confederacy unify the divided land.
Next mission.
The Thinite nobles still struggle to unite the lands of the Nile under one supreme ruler. To aid them in their cause, it is hoped that you will endeavor to establish a thriving community at Perwajit, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt, thus spreading their influence throughout the length of the sacred river. To support a population larger than that of a village, you must learn to use agriculture. Egyptian farmers have begun to exploit the rich, fertile soil deposited by the annual inundation of the Nile River for growing crops. The Nile can be hazardous, however. Many dangers lurk along its banks and in its waters, such as deadly crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
So I turned off the crocodiles and hippopotamuses and all that because I did not feel like doing police station animal abuse. But basically the premise of this scenario is apothecaries are needed because these contain mosquitoes. And you gotta grow food. I'm looking at pottery and decorations. Of course, first things first. And then, just for symmetry's sake, yeah, each juggler school provides 2 work, so you normally have to worry about where to place that. These, because you can only place them where there's some amount of grass, but it everywhere on this map, so it's not a big deal. And then in ponds, let the people come in. side. And then let's see. I'll put the drainer here. Work camp. This applies 4 farms. Put them as close to the Nile as possible, because all irrigation relies on it just sort of washing over, at least at this stage. There's nothing I can do at this stage to influence it, so no point building here. Like, how many times is the flood actually going to reach this far? Because it's 93% fertility, and that drops. And the flood has to refill. But over here, this is never getting refilled. It's so far away. It's not happening. Now this could be built closer, but why would I? It doesn't have negative effects, but it like desirability, I'm pretty sure. But it takes up space, so why would I put it closer? Just doesn't make much sense. Okay, that's good on that side. Unemployment 20%. That's fine. Just add another work camp. You can never grow too much food. At worst, it'll just drop. I'll place the palace down. Just because I can, really, there's not a big reason to. And then these shrines can be built one thingy away, so may as well put them there just to not waste space, really. Look at the fertility, 6%. These Egyptian farms drain fertility, and they need the flood. Seriously. Now, unlike other games, this Path of Progress, because it's not the farms being staffed, it's the work camps. You don't have massive unemployment spikes during the off season because they wait for other orders. No, they're here. Yeah, malaria bad. There we go. Okay, now this was a perfect flood. It's a trap. Don't be fooled. It's not going to be this good. 2 to 3, I find is probably a good ratio. And this, I like to start off with accept none, and then manually set each one that have a dedicated storage yard, and the things that should be full are full, and things that should be empty are empty. I've only got one market person, and they're slowly bringing the food in, but consider this. This food has to last an entire year, basically. So, no reason to distribute it all at once. May as well slowly distribute it. Any problems with that? Yeah, I don't get an immediate population boost, but it's not because I'm going to spend them on anything anyways. Just let them come in, let the pottery come in. Now, this 2 to 3 ratio, I don't know if this is actually efficient. Maybe 2 to 4 would be better, I'm not sure. But, because they drop it all in the first one, and then when that's full, then they drop to the next one. So I think 2 to 3 works better. Just click that. Now, ugliness is a factor that is blocking these guys right on cue. So, plazas, when a road is already has a beauty score, you can make it contribute to the score. Ta-da. And now look, these houses actually look pretty decent.
Superb. Your own citizens are beginning to look to you as their caretaker, and neighboring cities also hail you as a provider in times of need.
I think this is implying that there's supposed to be some sort of request, but well, I'm not seeing it here. Maybe if I took a whole lot longer, I would see it, but who cares? On to the next one.
As the people who live along the Nile still struggle to survive in this harsh environment, a local king named Narmer has risen to power. Though Narmer has dominion over much of this land, full unification of the twin kingdoms has yet to be achieved. In commemoration of his accession, Narmer wishes your family to establish and govern a new city at Nekhen. This city will have temples to many of the gods of Egypt and numerous places of entertainment.
Well, if you remember the second city, it already fell off. Turns out spamming gold mines is not an effective path to the economy. Hyperinflation collapsed. King arises to take control of the situation. Decides to build a new city somewhere else. So now there's multiple deities. The best way to balance them is to not build the festival square. Because in this remaster, this is what unlocks their positive benefits and their favor falling due to that. Don't mess with it, just build a ratio of 2 to the patron, 1 to the others. It'll be good and won't waste all of your money on it. Grain farms are part of the reason why you gotta do storage yards to start empty setting. They will fill you if you do not take countermeasures. The city does not have countermeasures. Of any kind. don't have anything to spend it on, so... housing from last time, I'll just copy that, why not? I'm just gonna keep using it until it stops working. Who knows when that will be. And which one of them is the patron? Raw, okay. I'm going to put them next to each other. That way they all compete with each other for who's doing the best and it won't be able to bother me. More efficient in regards to like communication, but you see how much room left in the middle? What do you think that is? These don't have a risk of collapse, but these do. Don't want to put the granaries near them. It's not required though. But I like it when they don't have to walk as far. It is optional though. No requirement, strictly speaking. And just more routing, less congestion when a flood is coming at you, probably for the best. And then not every city gets access to clay pit, so make the most of it. Bit early, probably. What is this? No. To determine how the housing merges together. So, well, could be better. It will just take some manual improvement. But that's fine. That's fine. Second option unlocked. We've also unlocked here, but that is not helpful at the moment, so I won't start building it. We don't need variety here, but I just like it. And look, beautiful city, that levels up. Entertainment's being trained up. Oh, taxes have been unlocked, as has the police station replacement. And the village palace allows tax collectors. They reduce desirability because no one wants to collect the tax collector, but they generate money. Almost about as much as wages. It's almost a closed loop. And I don't have spare workers, so I'm not going to mess with anything for the moment. Pick up the game speed, wait for the next harvest. Yeah, so mansion allows me to draw from the budget to pay myself. This can be helpful because some activities you just can't do with the state budget. Can your rating helps. However, the salary is very small. Which is for the best, because, well, probably couldn't afford to pay the high salary. So it's kind of more a way to anti-noob trap than anything else, really. Okay, these require beer, but they also require food, so we're gonna hold off on that just a little bit longer. Okay, that should be enough. Oh, good morning that I caught it. Unmoving grain. Hurry up. Hurry up. Ah, they didn't make it. Shame. No shame. And as you can see, this area would not recover. Now I will introduce barley and any more farms probably would not be worth it. I like to do barley 2 for each field. Now, change that to beer. Set pottery. Yeah, any more farms just wouldn't be efficient. I've reached, until I get these, I've reached the maximum carrying capacity for this city. I cannot get more food than this. Not practical. Just not happening. Okay, those ran out of food because some of it drowned last time in storage. So it won't happen this time. Be here in the personal mansion. Attest to that. So, store barley. Hold it all. Okay, now I just have to wait for. And now I've unlocked water crossing for 2 lane.
Well done. Thanks to your capable leadership, Egyptian civilization has advanced considerably and will continue to do so in the coming decades.
Okay, so yeah, the water crossing would have let me use all of the land over there to grow more food, so I can actually grow more population, but no point. No way to make money other than tax. Tax.
After a lengthy struggle, King Hor-Aha has managed to unite the twin kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt and proclaimed himself pharaoh over all Egypt. As a sign of his absolute sovereignty and the establishment of this, the first dynasty of Egypt, Hor-Aha has ordered the founding of an imposing capital at Men-Nefer, from which he may govern this fledgling nation. Because of your family's many generations of faithful service to this land, Pharaoh has chosen you to be the architect of this splendid city. Because the capital is the very symbol of our kingdom, its citizens must enjoy a quality of life heretofore unknown in this land. To this end, you will eventually need to trade with other cities in the realm and to provide a higher standard of education for at least some of your citizens. You must also build a sacred mastaba tomb for the city's nobles.
Okay, so there is chickpea and barley, no wheat. You may also notice this is usable. So there's also a lot less arable land, and I need to feed more people. Well, that's a problem for leader. should help with running away from the flood. I might notice not building a police station. It's because this does the same thing. You may notice the monument is not buildable at the moment. This is counter to how I would actually do it outside of the tutorial section. I want to be building the monument early. Oh. Yep, forgot to build the temples. Firemen are useless at putting out fires that already exist. They're mostly just prevention. They are prevention and psychological comfort to the people. That is their job. And they do it, so help us. Okay, I just need the harvest to come in, and that being worked on. Perfectly filling up. They don't look like that because they took away the basket, but yeah, that's a good point. I might even build a just in case scrap. Cashing in my stimulus check of the mission. Virus reads don't matter all that much. I don't know the exact ratio for how many of those there are, so I'll just put down a few, and then I'll check in on it later. See how it's going. Exactly manpower for anything, anyways. Most because they're just taking their time showing up. So yeah, and my main reason for playing over here, just like, if we were to go in lore, like, why am I building so far away from production? Malaria? Malaria. Not malaria. At least not as much. Alright, now, here is the moneymaker. Buy bricks. This is the previous city. Now is the time to work on the monument. Says import at least 800. Go for 1,000. So, the thing about the monuments is we really want the peasants to be able to work on them as soon as possible. Which means you don't want to do it like this mission. This mission portrays it in a really bad way. Don't save it to the end. Mistake. Start it early, that way the peasants in the off season can run down here and do this. In fact, let's do another camp. Actually, you know, another work camp. The food income is secondary. It doesn't matter as much. It's not the point. The point is something for them to do in non-season. Because what I mostly want them to do is travel around. That way the brick boys can start doing this. Basically, monuments are just a brick game. Just throw bricks at the problem, throw men at the problem. At least the Sawas. Sawas are just pure brick, which is nice. So you can sort of see the format that will happen. This is the main entrance. This is some sort of steps around it where you enter the burial spot. The main entrance. The city unemployment. More pirates. You can see the two edges of the mastaba make a natural slope you can walk up to keep working on the taller bits. Because this just won't cut it. Yeah, and each city individually is what's buying it from you, so all my bricks coming from a previous one. All the pirates go into this, they have maximum buy and sells, so I can't get infinite bricks, but I don't have the money for it anyways. And then this means I can't sell infinite papyrus. Even if I had the inclination to do it. This is a lot of reads. Yeah, the
bricklaying time at the monument.
1,800 bricks. It's only October and I've almost maxed out the amount of bricks they'll sell. Yeah, see why they walk up? Totally inadequate. Parent pottery, done, food done, but Would I get more people for more papyrus selling? What's the point? Can't spend the money on anything. There's increasing population. There's a Malthusian trap in the city. Just not enough people to sell papyrus to. Once other cities develop, yeah, this can grow, but it will always be a papyrus seller. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, it's a new capital. It's got a fancy monument. Capitals could be located. Just somewhere more convenient. Look at this. The second level, right, and maybe even the first level, had more fertile ground than this. Like, let's just say.
Congratulations. You have built a capital worthy both of the living and the dead. And by developing trade relations with other cities, you have introduced your city to the world stage. A new pharaoh, Den, has taken the throne of Egypt. Pharaoh is deeply concerned as enemies have begun to threaten our borders, and our nation lacks adequate supplies of valuable copper, needed to create weapons with which to equip our troops. Pharaoh Den has ordered a mining expedition into the unforgiving land of Sinai, beyond our borders and deep within Bedouin territory. The area known as Timnah is rich in gold and copper ore, as well as precious turquoise gemstones, but it is otherwise barren. Conditions there will be harsh, and you'll need to import many amenities, perhaps even additional food and fine linen from Egypt. Pharaoh will demand frequent shipments from Sinai, and will ask you for money, copper, gemstones, and weapons. You can use any surplus of these items to help support the expedition. Be always on your guard, for the Bedouin of the Sinai Desert are formidable adversaries, and they will not willingly allow foreigners to occupy their land, let alone plunder their mineral wealth. To lighten the burden that such living conditions impose on your city's people, build a pavilion at some busy intersection. Citizens can relax at the pavilion's juggling and music stages, and if you also build a dance school, this new type of performance will provide great entertainment.
So, population, ignore. You'll probably go over that. I'll probably go over that. We'll see. Prosperity, don't build slums. This is the real thing. You have to fulfill orders. So, this is the military mission. And it talks about importing amenities. Basically, just not really. Like, import beer and that's it at this point. Now, gold mines are tempting, but remember the fate of Thinis, reduced to just another city. Avoid the woes of inflation, invest in the real economy. It has the word real in it. How can you not like that? then, because we're in the middle of nowhere desert, we got Seth. Hey, people. Thank you. Get an early start on this. There is no time for complaints. Complacency is for people who aren't going to have copper requested. Because everyone knows the best gifts are the ones you just can't say no to. Fort nearby. Always best to start preparing archers early because they're practically free as long as you can place one of these down. And then useless. Look, we've got a physician. He'll be fine. Unemployment, unacceptable. Get in the copper mine. Of course, also gotta start making weapons. If I get a request. This is, of course, buying copper because that's the relay point. So, I don't know, let's pretend that's where they're building the army. For mythology reasons, I guess. Shorten the road. Fine. And then over here, no point for setting the infrastructure for copper processing. Just slap down gold and it's good to go. keep the money afloat whenever the trader hasn't been bothered to show up there. As I get people, actually, let's see. How many people do I have? Any imports bureau just going on. And then the intro mentioned precious stones, so naturally get mines. Archers, for some reason, have such simple wooden bows that they just make them themselves out of like discarded twigs. So they're not actually that strong. So you want to get infantry because they actually cost stuff, and to buy video games, that they must be better if they are more expensive. Standing crimes. More requests from you. Copper and channels the will flow into the better part of the kingdom. so bother about importing reads. I suppose I could. Now think about it, yeah, I could do that as waiting for me. Virus. This is flax. I can import code, but I can't manufacture. Let's just keep this. Yes, I am treating Gen as a public works project. Or shouldn't I? No economic value, doesn't matter. I will make it myself if I have to. Yeah, here's an economic advantage. Employment at this high population requirements. Come on, just give me more requests. I'm good for them. Come on, request them. Bedouins have finally shown up, I see. In an entire year. The ferry is well beyond. Just need to continue standing. And I have savings. And that's the real value of the personal nature. Library. I'll open this just to make you happy. Sausages are infinitely iconic in there, so it's not onions, but 6 months. going to amass bribe money, and then tell you no. You cannot invade without my consent. Okay, import papyrus. Okay. I feel like I should be able to, but no. It's so weird. Maybe after the invasion?
Pharaoh applauds you. Through your skilled management, you have successfully defended your city from Bedouin attack and provided Egypt with the means of defending itself.
I could move on. But I want to see the invasion. I want to see my absolute dominance. Okay. Yeah, that was easy. Okay, Mennefer opened up and sells papyrus, buys gems. Doesn't matter. I'll be stopping here. I think that's plenty. Plenty. For tonight. Or maybe by the time this is posted, it'll be the morning, but... well, whatever time of day it is for you, whenever you're watching this. Have a good one. Bye.